All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatir from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And originally, I wasn't going to do a sit down on this, but it keeps coming to my mind. So obviously that's the spirit telling me that I actually need to do a video on this. And as I said, Lord willing, I hope it's edifying to the flock. And this story was inspired by a testimony that my woman shared in her experience going to the store Pete's here in Illinois. It's a nice store that has decent quality food for not a wallet breaking price. Some stuff is expensive, but as a whole, it's not wallet breaking. So my woman went shopping at this Pete's that's in a suburb called Evergreen Park. And make a long story short, Evergreen Park's a nice suburb, predominantly inhabited by Edomites. Everybody does pretty well for themselves. So my woman went shopping at Pete's, came back home, put the groceries away. I was in the living room on the couch. So she walks into the living room, sits on the couch next to me. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And she said, hey, babe, you know, I had the strangest thing just happened to me at Pete's. And I'm like, well, what's up? She said, I was walking out of Pete's and this older lady looked at my cart and said, wow, I wish that I had a bag that I could fill up with groceries like yours. And I said to her, well, that is pretty odd. Like, why would she say that? She was like, I don't know. I said, did she have a lot of bags? She said, no. She had like those three plastic grocery store bags, and they weren't even full. Now, my woman, when she goes shopping, 9 times out of 10, she brings her own bags. And these bags that she has are extremely huge. She only needs to bring like 3 or 4 of them. They can fit a lot. One bag can fit a lot of groceries in them. And so I said, that is kind of odd. Like, why would she say something like that? Did she explain why? My woman said no. She's like, I don't know why. I don't know why she felt compelled to say such a thing, but she did. And I said, see, my love, I was like, we're very fortunate to be in the position that we are. I mean, as you can see, you know, there's people that make 2-3 times what we make, and they're out here struggling. I said, this woman's from Evergreen Park, and she's an older lady. And you know, folks in Evergreen got a lot of money. She's like, yeah, I know. I said, wow, that is very odd. But as my woman was telling me this testimony, I was thinking of a lot of scriptures, and one in particular stuck out the most, which I'll, Lord willing, I'll get to in this sit down. But yeah, it just kind of threw me off that a random stranger would just talk to my woman and just basically explain how she was either jealous or envious that my woman was just able to leisurely go to the store and just fill up a big bag full of produce. She's like, wow, I can tell you got a lot of produce in there, a lot of fruit and fish. She's like, I mean, it kind of tripped me out, but nonetheless, I just told my woman, like, yeah, that is kind of odd. She was like, yeah, I know. And then she went on to do something else. But yeah, let's get some scripture, some things that I was thinking about as she was telling me this testimony. We got Psalm 65 and 4, and it says, blessed is the man whom thou choosest and causest to approach unto thee, that they may dwell in thy courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house, even of thy holy temple. All right, because you have to recognize when the Lord is dealing with you, you can tell when the Lord's dealing with you. And I'm not saying this in a boastful or prideful way, but the way you live your life and the way you see things going, the way you can get out of jams and the way you avoid certain situations and the way certain things just come out and a way was made when you just like, how the hell did this happen? All right. Those are things that let you know that the Lord is chose you and he's dealing with you. All right. And we got Psalm 68 and 19. Like I said, I don't want to make this quick. I don't want to make this too long. It says, Psalm 68 and 19, it says, blessed be Yahweh, who daily loadeth us with benefits, even the God of our salvation. And what's one of these benefits? Now, this is the main thing I was thinking about as my woman was telling me this story. All right. Basically the benefit of being chosen, being a man of the Lord, being a prophet. And it says, Psalm 65 and 13, therefore thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. All right. And this is one of the main precepts I was thinking about of the ones that I just read to you. Okay. But the main idea in all of these is the fact that there are a ton of benefits, okay, being chosen by the Lord and doing things that are pleasing to him so that he shows favor not only to you, but the people of your household. All right. And there's one last one, Psalm 37 and 25. And it says, I have been young and now I am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. And this testimony that my woman shared with me was a faith booster, in the sense that, as I said before, there are people out there who live in better situations than I do, that make 2 and 3 times more than what I make, and they are hurting. But yet my woman was able to go to the store and buy in abundance, in comparison to a woman who's been well established, lives in a nice suburb, in a nicer house than we do. And she's just looking at my woman like, damn, I wish I could do that. I wish I was in her position to be able to do such a thing. Okay. And this is just a very small thing that the Lord can do, but it also opened my eyes to the fact that, hey, brothers, we're living in that time where things like this are going to be happening more frequently. Okay? Yourself or people of your household, you know, they're going to be going out and folks are just going to be looking at you and people of your household like, how are you all able to do this? All right. I know they're going to be thinking, no, I know I make more than you. I live in a better house than you do. I've been in my job longer than you. I make 6 figures, high 6 figures. How is it that I'm struggling and scraping to get by, but you seem to be doing well? You seem to be abundantly blessed in a time where everybody is losing everything. That's the key thing. In a time where everybody is losing everything, people are going to be wondering how you men are actually thriving. And we all know we can't tell them, but we understand that this whole thing is spiritual, in the sense that the reason why we're thriving is because the Lord's favor is upon us. And that's really it. You know, ain't no big super, in-depth explanation to it. We all know The reason why we're in the situation that we're in is because the Lord is dealing with us. And as the times get more dire and desperate, we're going to, just like them, even we're going to see how much the Lord is dealing with us and having favor upon us in our household. You know, this was as I said before, this was a huge faith booster for me. You know, it was one of those things where after she told me, I just, you know, thanked the Lord, and I just prayed that, you know, that he continued to show favor to myself and the people of my household. And I'm sure you brothers out there who know that the Lord is dealing with you, you know, the hopeful elect, you know, you continue as well to pray that the Lord, you know, will still show favor to you and the people of your household. So that's all I wanted to say on this. Nonetheless, I hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.